And there is our lovely guest for tonight, as I first stated, none other than First Lady Shanitra Beck. Y'all already know. Let's go ahead and give her a great big hand clap. Let's go ahead and give her a great big Women Who Rise welcome tonight. Put your hands together real good. As a matter of fact, let's welcome her back to Women Who Rise. As I first stated, as you all know, or some of you may not know, she was with Women Who Rise in the very, very beginning, almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. So I told her earlier that she's a veteran now to Women Who Rise, but I thank God for her. She gave a phenomenal testimony back then, and I know tonight is going to be no exception. Yeah, y'all put your hands together real good for Lady Beck tonight. Let me ask you, Lady Beck, how are you doing on this Thursday evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited. I express how excited I am to have you back. I'm honored that you would accept my invitation again.
I'm honored that you would ask me again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're all excited. As I forestated, a lot of people, to my surprise, didn't even know that I'd had you on before as a guest. And, God had already laid it on my heart to get you again. And when I posted the flyer the other day, I had a couple people was like, what do you mean she's back again? I've never seen her before. So I'm glad to have you back again. If you have never heard Lady Beck give her testimony, you are in for a treat tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody that shared the flyer, everybody that are joining with us tonight, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you are watching on Facebook. Thank you all so much. And if you are new to this channel tonight, y'all, we are Women Who Rise. I am your host here with Randall. That's me, Lady in Purple. And we are here every Thursday, y'all, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time every Thursday. For those of you who know, I have a different woman every week sharing her testimony of how God simply blessed them to rise. And y'all know I say every week that God is no respecter of persons, meaning what he has done for me, what he's done for Lady Beck. If he blessed us to rise, he can do the exact same thing for you. The same God that loves us is the same God that loves you. And y'all know that. That's why we're here. That's why we're here every Thursday. That's why we have these encouraging testimonies. We want somebody to see that the God that we serve, he not only loves us, he not only wants to see us prosper and rise, he wants to do the same thing for you. So that's why we're here again tonight. I'll never get tired of hearing good testimonies, y'all. Good testimonies build faith. And as you all know, we have another good one for you all tonight, none other than Lady Shanitra Beck, and she is going to share with us again, y'all, her testimony of how God simply blessed her to rise. Now, Lady Beck, I always start out to all of my guests, as you know, every week with the first question of when you first hear those 3 words, Women Who Rise, what are the first thoughts that come to your head?
When I hear Women Who Rise, the first thought that comes to my head is women who step up. They step up, they get up. In today's time, we need women that will rise, that will get up and step up. There's so many different distractions and a lot of noise in the world today. And to see women who are rising, to me, those are great examples. We need those examples in today's world, those women to rise, to get up, to step up. In spite of the challenges, in spite of the hurt, the pain, whatever you may be going through, you're able to, in spite of, get up, step up to the challenge, to the plate, and do it again. Get it done. Every day, as I said before, us as women, we are so many things to so many people. We're wives, or mothers, we're daughters, we're sisters, we're colleagues, we're friends, we're cousins, we're aunties, co-workers, and then, when you come home, you still going. So a lot of times with women, it doesn't stop. And for us to be consistent in our rising, and we're always moving forward, to me, that is just an awesome thing for women all around the world. We should really just celebrate and honor just women all over who are rising to the challenge and not stepping back, but stepping up.
Listen, y'all, Lady Beck. I love it. Listen, you summed that up for us. I love how one statement that you made, you said women who rise, who are consistent in rising, who rise consistently, not up one day, down the next. So I'm getting up, I'm stepping up today. Oh, but then tomorrow I don't want to do it. No, rise consistently. I love you pointed that out.
Consistent.
And like you also said, the world needs to see women who are an example. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like you can't be that good example that the world needs to see if you're not consistently choosing to rise. You know, the world has enough unstableness going on, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to look at, godly
Right.
women the same, instability that they see in other women. So
Right.
I love it, Lady Beck. I love it. I want to go on to my next question of Lady Beck, and I always say that this is my favorite question, because this
Mm-hmm.
question right here is where the actual testimony comes in at. Can you share with us a time in your life where you came to your defining moment? And I've said it so many times that as women, and you said it, as well, we have so much that we carry, so much that we have to do. That alone brings about multiple testimonies in the life of women alone. So, we all have, a myriad of testimonies that we can share of defining moments that got us to where we are right now today. But can you share with us, a testimony or two of a time where you came, to your defining moment? And not only that, how did you choose to rise?
Okay, well, I will share a testimony that has kind of changed things in my life on today, and just looking back of how God had God is so awesome in how he does things, and I said it before, um, allowing God's, his timeline that he has for us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in 2020, actually, I think it was like during COVID, or COVID had just happened, but how things just started to change and to happen. Now, my testimony is I'm a very shy person. I'm quiet. I'm shy. This right here is a challenge for me. Talking about women who rise, this is a challenge. But I'm a very quiet person. So um, when it is your time to rise, when God is elevating you, when he's moving you, when he's pushing you, trying to take you to wherever he wants you to go, he will prepare you for it. So just know, a lot of times he is already preparing us for a lot of things that we don't even know, but we are in that preparing stage where he's preparing us. And little did I know, back in 2020, I was in education. I'm still in education, but at the time I was teaching, and I was thinking, I was like, well, I wanted to do something different. I was going to go to another campus. And for the past probably 4 or 5 years prior to that, people was always saying to me, why aren't you still, why are you still in the classroom? Why are you not a coach? Why are you not an AP? Why are you not, why you not? And for me, like I said, I'm quiet, I'm shy. That kind of fear, don't want to talk in front of people. That's a big challenge for me. And I remember saying, I just stay in the classroom. I'm good in the classroom. And again, when God is ready to move you, he'll find ways. He know how to do it. And I never shall forget, I had a dream in January of 2020. And I always share dreams when I have it, because especially they're significant. I remember sharing that dream with my husband. In 2020, I had a dream. My principal handed me some keys. In a dream, he handed me a set of keys. And I had already said to myself that I wasn't going back to this campus. And I remember telling my husband about the dream, about he handed me some keys. And in my dream, in my classroom, I was clearing out my classroom. And in my cabinet, those that are teachers know what I'm talking about, I have supplies galore. I mean, just supplies, school supplies that I have kept for years and years. But when I opened up my cabinets to clean out my classroom, everything was gone. It was just trophies and rewards, awards that you normally give kids at the end of the school year. So in the dream, in my mind, I'm like, where my stuff? Somebody came and took all my school supplies, not even thinking about what God was really doing, what was taking place. Well, that was in January. March came along. I went ahead and did my transfer, was about to go to another campus. Had already did the transfer papers. The next school year, I was going to be at that campus. Well, June came along, and the ED of the district, one of the EDs, reached out to me, and she said, hey, I have a great position for you. She said, you're the first person came to my mind. I think you'll be awesome for this position. She says the leadership role. And, when she was telling me about it, I didn't have to interview. I didn't have to apply for it. If you want it, it's yours. I think it'd be a great opportunity. But I was going to have to stay at the campus I was at, thinking about the keys that the principal was handing me. And so I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I knew what that meant. That meant me having to talk in front of people. That means me having to lead meetings for professional developments, PLCs, coaching teachers, observing, giving back, giving feedback and things like that. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, how am I get up and talk in front of people? How am I do all that? And it was really a challenge for me, but it was like someone just pushing me to do it. I prayed about it, talked to my husband. I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. I said, if it's you, Lord, and I always say, God, if it's not you, let it crumble. Don't even let it be. But everything went through, and God, it's just even amazing, even how it happened. When we first started out going back to school after COVID, we were on Zoom. So I didn't have to go back in front of people. I was in a Zoom like I am now. If I don't want to see everybody, I don't have to see everybody. I'm just talking. So it was helping me, building me with the leadership. And I remember as he moved me on, going going to my next school, where now I'm having to be in front of large groups of people, but at the same time God was with me, and he was building me, he was teaching me, he was growing me in that. And I mean, it was just amazing how that happened. So that was the leadership role that God did. Then after that, we were going to move. We were thinking about moving. We were living in the suburbs. We were thinking about moving. Now, remember, this was like in 2021 at this time. And it's gonna all make sense in a minute, sis. 2021. We were thinking about we sold our house, thinking about moving somewhere else. Well, I'm trying to move like in places like Mansfield, Midlothian. He's wanting to move in the city in Dallas. I'm like, what? And we're listening to God, following God, and God, the house that he put before us. And when I tell you how we got this house, it was nobody but God. Yeah. And when you put all the pieces together, just to see, not knowing that my husband was going to be a pastor at that time, but just thinking how God had just organized everything, even with his job, how he was on his job for 20 something years, and how he had been wanting to find something else, do something else, but he would always say it, but never do it. But when I tell you, God there was a layoff, and that layoff made him move forward and do something else. Had he still been in that job, it would have been difficult. It was just amazing how God did things. Now, we're in McKinney. Had we moved to Midlothian, it probably would have been taking us an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get to our location. So I say it to say this: following God's plan, it just amazes me how God did everything, following his plan, his timeline. It prepared me for the now. Even in my being afraid, being a little fearful, we know God, he has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. But even in all that, God has really showed me that if you follow his timeline, and I mean, he would just put everything in place. He's already preparing you for everything that he wants to do. I think of it so much, when you asking somebody for directions, you can go to a stranger and ask a stranger for directions. You're going to listen to that person, and you're going to follow the directions. We got to learn how to do the same thing with God. When we go to God asking for instruction, when he gives us those directions, don't question it. Do like we would with that stranger. We're going to go. If the same say you go this way, turn right, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go straight and turn right. And we got to do the same thing with God. And I just thank God that I did follow I followed what he was telling me to do. And that's one thing, just being a willing vessel. When we talk about women who are rising, being willing vessels, allowing God to give us the ability, because we're willing, but all the times we're not able to do a lot of things, but we're willing. But we know that God, he's willing and he's able. So if we're willing, just a willing vessel, being that willing participant, God, he's able to give us the strength, the courage. He's able to put the right people in our paths to get us to where he wants us to go. And I just appreciate God, like I say, just looking back over these past 2-3 years of just how God has just has just designed everything, and God will really blow your mind. The key is just allowing him to. And I know sometimes it seems that when you're looking at that direction that he's telling you to go, it seemed like, wait a minute, it seemed like it'd be easier to go this way and not that way. But following his plan, I normally say his GPS, God's perfect solution. his solution, the path that he has for us, it is so much better. Although it may seem like you looking that way, you might see a lot of things may be going on, but knowing that God, he's with us, he'll never leave us, but he's always there. And I'm just so grateful that he has allowed me, even in this position. I see how my job has even helped me now, being able to just talk to people. You know, like I say, it was a challenge for me to even stand in front of people and talk to people and do meetings and things of that nature. But I see how, you know, God, he will prepare you for everything that he has for you. He'll never just throw you out there. He's always have already prepared you. He has already set you up for what it is that he has for you. All we have to do is just follow him.
That's right. Oh, I love it, Lady Beck. A perfect example of just letting go and let God have his way. The song says, step back and just let God do it.
Step back, let God do it.
It works every time. It works.
Every
God will
time.
never lead you down a dead end road. Although sometimes it may like, God, where are you taking me? Wait a minute, like you said, that way.
Hold up.
But if you just trust his plan, he ain't gonna lead you down a dead end road. You know, he's
not.
And I love the song that says, Jesus, take the wheel, you know?
The wheel. Yes.
When you really let him take the wheel.
Right. That's the thing. We have to really, like I say, really allow him to. If we're saying we trust in God, do we really trust God? If you really trust God, I don't care what we see. Sometimes we can't go by what we see in the natural, because God, he sees up ahead. So we just got to really trust God and just follow him wholeheartedly, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like. It may be uncomfortable. A lot of times, I'm pretty sure many women can say this in their rising. It wasn't comfortable all the time. There was a little discomfort. It's not going to be comfortable all the time. You're going to go through a little pain. It may hurt a little. You may get a little pushback, but that don't mean that we're going to step back. We got to keep moving forward in God, and God will keep leading us, elevating us. We will continue to rise in God. And at the end, he will get the glory.
That's it. That's it. Oh, I love it. Lady Beck, now I want to jump back to where, of course, you alluded to how God, he, with the house and the job and everything, it set you all up for where you are now, and it, helped you in the current role that you are in now. During that time of transition, was there anybody in your life that you could turn to, talk to? And we've said it multiple times on the podcast, how having the right people in your circle, the right people,
it's important.
World of difference. So was there anybody that you could turn to during that time of transition who was there to encourage you? Sometimes we need those people to help us see that it's God's will, because like you said, it's uncomfortable, it hurt. And unfortunately, a lot of times we look for people who gonna, kind of join in our pity party, who gonna see it the way we see it. We're like, girl, you're right. You shouldn't do you shouldn't do it. But was there anybody in your life?
Because you need those, like, girl, get up. What you doing? Get up and go forth and do what God has called you to do. But I had, of course, my husband, my family. I loved how my first lady, Danielle, a lot of the first ladies reached out to me, and still we talk quite often and just encourage, because they know the position and the responsibility and everything that it holds. So definitely, like I say, my husband is a great encouragement. My family, I have different friends and things, because like I say, when it first happened, it was a shock. And I'm like, it was a shock. And I was like, really, like, what? I mean, and it seemed like when it happened, it just happened so fast. And I didn't even see it coming. I put it like that. I did not see it coming. But again, once I started going back, looking at the timeline, we talk about it sometime in lab, we can see how God's hand, how he was in those details, the small details. Just know that God, he is in everything. We as women of God, if we are a child of God, know that he is in every little detail, the details that we don't even think about. he is all up in there. He's all up in the details. So a lot of times when things are not going the way that we think it should go, it look like it might be going wrong. It's not going wrong. It's going exactly how God would have it to go. And you will see at the end how, oh, this was the right path. This is where God was trying to take me. And I had to go through these things to get to where he's taking me. So all the time it's not gonna be difficult. I mean, all the time it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a little discomfort. And again, you have those people around you. And again, having the right people, because sometimes people will try to talk you down. You know, you'll be surprised sometimes people, they don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you, or they want it. So they'll try to, you make sure your ideas are things with them, and they'll try to downplay it because they might, next thing you know, they be done took it and ran with it. So you want to make sure that those people that are around you, you know, those are the people that God has placed in your life. Because sometimes even where you're going, sometimes you got to make sure that you still have the right people around you that's fit for where you are going. And those that really have your best interests, and those are going to be with you, and not always patting you on your back, but saying, girl, get up. Right. You need friends like that. You need people in your life that's not going to just always like, girl, I know, girl. Oh, no, I'm your friend. I'm gonna tell you the truth, you know. And it's good having people like that in your corner who will tell you the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear. You need people like that in your life. You really do.
Oh, Lady Beck, I love it. I love it. I want to ask you this, Lady Beck, tonight. What would you, first of all, everything you said has been an encouragement. I mean, and I love how God gives us like those gentle reminders, you know, if you just let me be God, let me work out, let me, you know, order your steps. You know, the steps of a good man have been ordered by the Lord. So I love how he just comes in and just reminds us, just, you know, I got you, trust me. I can work it out. I can do it for you. You know, a lot of times as women, like you said, we get, sometimes I can even say me, myself, you know, we like to be in control. I'm the type, I like to know A, B, C, D. How are we going to get from A to Z? You know, I'm like, don't leave me out in the middle. No, let me know what's going to happen from A to B. I'm that type of person. I can admit that. You know, and so it's sometimes when you have to just step back and be like, okay, God, I don't know. And it's like, he not going to tell you just because he knows you kind of a control. He's like, no, I got it. So it's like, sometimes as women, it's hard to relinquish you know, that control. We like to know that our families are taken care of. We like to know that all the bills are paid. Everything is, you know, X, Y, Z. So when it's like, you know, God is like, hey, put it in my hands. So I thank God for those gentle reminders of God letting us know it's okay to relinquish control. So
and put full confidence in him and trust in him. Okay, I'm taking my hands off of it. Okay, Lord. Just take your hands off of it and let him, and just follow him. And when we do, if people would do that, I mean, really, we will see things. Even I can even say things in my life where I could have said, okay, if I would have just took my hand,
right,
I wouldn't be in some of the things that I was in. But once I learned, see, sometimes you do, but then you learn from it. And if you don't learn from it, to keep doing it again. But no, once you learn from, okay, Lord, I'm gonna trust you. I'm taking my hands off. I'm trusting you, full trust. Even if it don't look right, I'm trusting you, and it'll work out every time. And I'm gonna say, God has really, he has really blessed my life. And again, you know, of course, there are days where it is discomfort. But we still get up and we still rise another day, and we just take God with us. He's leading and guiding us, and we just keep doing it. And it's just good to know when we have God on our side, he already knows. He knows what we don't know. So I'd rather be with somebody who knows what we don't know than to be with somebody that only know right in this present. So I thank God for that. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, I love it. Lady Beck, let me ask you this final question tonight. What would be your advice to the individual? And I always say it to both male and female because we have both male and female viewers. But what would you say to that individual tonight who may be in that place to where they can feel, you know, like sometimes you can feel the transition. You don't really know why. You don't know why God has you, you know, going down the path that you're going. You're unsure. And like you said, sometimes it's discomfort. It's uncomfortable. You know, we don't know why. What would be your advice to that individual tonight? How would you encourage them just to relinquish control and just to let God have his way?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to let go and let God. Sometimes we're so afraid to take our hands off of it because we feel like we take our hands off of it, it won't work right. But learn, don't be afraid, take your hands off of it. Allow God, give him an opportunity. Sometimes we don't give God an opportunity to work it out. Give him the opportunity, you know, again, and also, you know, a lot of times don't compare yourself to others. Sometimes we're comparing ourselves, we're measuring ourselves up to other people, you know, we're thinking that we can't do it because maybe you're looking at somebody who have a PhD and you might only have a GED. It's not even about that. If you have God, all you need is God. I don't need a PhD, a GED. If you have God, God can take you places that no man can take you. No degree can take you. So learn to put full control and trust in God. Don't worry about, you're gonna have naysayers. You're gonna have people who, you know, don't think you can do it. You might even think within yourself you can't do it. Well, first of all, you need to get that out your mind, because if you think that, well, that's how that's gonna be, you need to start thinking positive. With God, we can do all things through Christ, because he's the one that gives us the strength. It's not our ability, but it's God. So allow God, take your hands off of it, give him full control, give him the opportunity to be able to work it out in your life, and to be able, you know, and don't run from it. If we run from challenges, how can we ever rise from something if we don't ever accept the challenge and go for it? So just, you know, go for it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And like my sister said one time, if you're afraid, do it afraid. Do it. Get out there. Make this step up and do it, and rise to the occasion. Rise to the man or the woman of God that he is calling us to be. And watch God. I mean, because it's like I say, it's really needed in this day and time. It's really needed, women, men of God, for people out here to really just see that we are rising in God, not in things out there, but in God, and that how they can also rise in God, and they don't need the things out there in the world in order to rise, but they can rise in God and be strong in God.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Listen, y'all, I'm encouraged. And I just want to point out, Lady Beck, how you talked about how much of a shy person that you are, and you don't like talking in front of people or being out front. But y'all, this is an example of when you just let God have his way. Look at how well you spoke to us tonight, Lady Beck. And I mean, just full of confidence. I mean, you didn't look nervous at all to me. You didn't look like somebody who's afraid to talk in front of people. I mean, you were literally talking your life's testimony to us tonight. So I love it. And you even mentioned how, you know, the Bible declares that God is not giving us the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind, how we can do all things through Christ that strengthen us. You live out, I'm literally looking at you and I'm like, she's literally her own testimony right before our very eyes tonight. So, I mean, if you're in a place to where you're fearful, you're afraid, maybe you're that shy person who's like, you know, God, I can't do it. I can't get in front of people. I don't like talking in front of people. You may be the perfect candidate. That's probably why God chose. Look at Lady Beck tonight. I mean, you can't even look at her. Well, if this is your first time watching her or hearing her testify, you would never even think that, oh, she's shy. She don't like talking in front of. I mean, and it's only God. Look what God can do when you just say yes to his will and you say yes to his way, and you literally let go and let God do it. You never know what he has planned for your life. So I just want to point that out, Lady Beck. Prime example tonight, a great encouragement. I love it. I don't have to ask the viewers tonight if you have enjoyed Lady Beck's testimony tonight, because I know you have. I enjoyed it, but y'all know I'm going to ask anyway. If you enjoyed Lady Shanitra Beck's testimony tonight, Y'all already know. Go ahead and put your hands together. Some of you are already doing it in the comment section. Go ahead and give her a great big hand clap. Just to say, Lady Beck, thank you. First Lady Shanitra Beck, thank you so much. As I forestated, for coming on a second time on Women Who Rise and sharing your testimony. You blessed us when you came on the first time. Your testimony was phenomenal, a great encouragement, you know. So I knew tonight was going to be no exception. Tonight, I feel like you encouraged us even more to keep rising.
Yeah.
And if you know Lady Beck, she is a beautiful, wonderful woman of God, one that I have admired for many, many years, even before she stepped into her new role. She's been the same sweet, genuine woman of God that I've always known. And that's what people need to see. The same, like she said earlier, constantly rising, consistently rising. That's what the world needs to see. And that's what Lady Beck shows us. And that's what she shows the world. Yes, thank you all for putting your hands together tonight. I want to say thank you to all of the viewers, everybody, if you're watching on Facebook or whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're going to come back and watch the replay. If you have not watched Lady Beck's first testimony, y'all, go back over a year ago, around May 2022, pull up her testimony. It will bless your entire life. I mean, tonight was a blessing. When she testified the first time, it was a blessing. And that's one thing about good testimonies. I don't care how many times you watch, there are some testimonies I have watched multiple times, and it blesses me every single time that I watch it. So y'all go back, look her up, watch her testimony. It'll bless you. And I want to say again, thank you, Lady Beck, for blessing us with your testimony tonight, taking out time, number one, out of your busy schedule. We know that you are a first lady, so we know your schedule is full, but thank you for finding the time tonight to come on Women Who Rise again and to share your testimony with us. You know that I love you with all of my heart.
I love you too. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, ma'am. Again, thank you to all the viewers. We're out of time for right now, but y'all know we will be back next week. I'm sorry, next week is Thanksgiving, so we will not be here next week, but the week after that, we will be back. So y'all enjoy your Thanksgiving on next week and then catch us the following week. I have another young, beautiful woman of God, very, very sweet woman of God that's going to be sharing her testimony with us all. You do not want to miss it. So if you have not done so, y'all already know what I'm going to say. Go ahead and hit the share button. Y'all know I love when y'all share these testimonies. I love for as many people as possible to hear these wonderful testimonies. You still have time to go ahead and tag somebody in the comment section if you have not done so. With that being said, I am going to let you all go for tonight. Again, y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving on next week, and I'll catch y'all the following Thursday, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all keep praying for me as I keep praying for you all. I love y'all. Don't forget to hit the share button, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and good night for tonight.